and gentlemen, you can catch her each afternoon on Divorce Court. Y'all, please welcome my good friend, one of my favorite judges of all time, Judge Faith Jenkins.
Hey, Judge Faith.
Hey, Rickey. Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you?
Yes, sir. One more time, Judge Faith, the one and only.
Yes, Judge Faith.
Latex on. Hey, good morning, and congratulations to you on your new season of Divorce Court. And I know one timely topic that you will highlight this season is addiction and how to help save your partner along with your marriage. That's awesome.
Yes, Rickey. We have so many issues that we see on Divorce Court. First, good morning. I'm so happy to be with you guys. I know last year, right before we started taping the season, I came on for a quick conversation, and we had a really good season of Divorce Court. There was a lot of conflict because a lot of couples were spending a lot more time together. We taped the entire season in the course of the pandemic. And I say it was a good season because I feel like we were really able to help resolve some of the issues that some of the couples had. So we're starting up next week. We are looking for new couples, new cases, if anyone's interested in coming on the show. And one of the topics that we saw was an issue that people are facing during these difficult times. You're seeing an increase in drug and alcohol abuse. So that's one of the issues that we addressed. We brought on an expert. But then, Rickey, we see all sorts of things that a lot of couples face in relationships. The issue of fidelity, trust, loyalty. You've been married a long time. People are trying to figure out, do we stay? Do we go? When is the time to leave? All of these things that continue to come up and we continue to address. And, sometimes issues are more serious than other times. We laugh, we cry, we have a good time. So you'll see a range of things on the new season coming up.
Yes.
Well, I was wondering, are you seeing a rise in divorces due to the pandemic and people being around their mates, like you said, all the time, a lot more than normal?
We are seeing a rise. We are seeing an increase in cases for sure because people are, this hasn't been, a lot of people have been off work, but it hasn't been a vacation. People have been stressed out. They have been trying to figure out not how to navigate teaching, their children are out of school. So they're teaching third grade math, but they don't know third grade math. They're trying to figure out what's happening with our careers, what's happening with our jobs. A lot of people are choosing to move and go new locations and new directions and making a lot of changes in their lives. So this time period, on top of everything else, what's going on at home in the relationships is sort of just added levels of stress. And people are really trying to navigate how to deal with it because a lot of times people have been using work as an escape from a relationship that they weren't really happy in. And when you don't have that escape anymore and you're faced with it, it's then, okay, what do we do now?
Right.
Okay, Judge Faith, I have a question. How you doing this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So the Dr. Dre divorce, it continues to get even messier. Now, in this situation, that prenup was torn up, okay, but allegedly Dr. Dre tore it up. Now, how does this work, and is it still valid with his wife, Nicole?
Oh, good question.
That is a great question. And I don't know the specific details of the case, but I can tell you, just taking what you say on face value, tearing up a piece of paper does not invalidate a contract. A prenup
because you signed it already, right?
Because you signed it. So just the act of how you invalidate a contract is through writing. It's not just by the physical act of, we're not going to do this. We're going to tear up this piece of paper. That's not, the court doesn't recognize that as invalidating a written agreement. So by just that fact alone, it's still a valid agreement. And when you have a prenup, a lot of times people will come in and they'll argue, especially when there's a lot of money at stake. And, they just barely missed our $5,000 maximum on divorce court. So I don't think I'll see them. But there's a lot of money at stake in this divorce. And a lot of times people will come up with various reasons why prenups aren't valid. But for the most part, if both parties have been represented by an attorney, it's really hard to get around a prenup where you've had attorneys representing you and there's that professional knowledge and representation there.
Oh, wow.
So, Judge Faith, Does lifestyle plays a part in the divorce? Like if a woman's married to a billionaire and they're divorcing and all she's asking for is like $2 million a month in spousal support, is that too much for the billionaire to give the woman?
Judge Frank, what are you talking about? Dr. Dre X is asking for $2 million a month until the divorce is settled. So that's what he's talking about.
I know, and those numbers, it seems like a lot. And you're like, why would anyone need $2 million a month to live? So it seems really extravagant. But what happens is the courts will look at the standard of living during the marriage.
Thank you.
And the spouse's earning capacity. If Ms. Young has not worked for 24 years and all she's done is, you know what, let me just say, she helped raise the children. She helped support him during his career. So it's not about all she's done. It's about what she's done during that 24 years. And so they look at those things and they factor in that this couple perhaps made a choice, that Dr. Dre was going to be the one to work and to earn the money for the family while she did other things. And so they look at all of those things and they factor in this standard of living that she should continue to maintain, and it shouldn't be diminished just because she wasn't the spouse out there earning the money when they had an agreement that she would perhaps maintain the home or help with some of his businesses or be the primary caregiver for the children.
Thank you, Judge Faith.
Oh, Gary, you know what? You're always trying to come up here. You done messed up the whole interview with your own little personal. Judge Faith, we apologize.
I have a question on that, though. The monies that you think about as far as the overhead, that encompasses the spouse, too. So when you remove that spouse from the equation, doesn't the number then change?
What do you mean, remove
overhead?
the spouse from the equation?
Because the overhead was considering the overhead between Dr. Dre and her. So if Dr. Dre is no longer part of the equation, it's just her overhead, correct?
Yes, and it's all about, the key question is going to be providing income to a lower income spouse, a lower earning spouse during the marriage, and their standard of living. What standard of living should she have after they've been divorced when he was the primary person earning the income? So that's what the court, they don't want to leave a spouse who hasn't worked destitute. The court don't believe that's fair. So in some states, they look at a percentage of income. What is a percentage of Dr. Dre's income? We'll just give that. We'll just order that. But otherwise, it's a formula that they use. It's not strictly black and white. It's a formula, and it's all about balancing. And that's why this prenup is in dispute, because if the prenup is valid, it probably speaks directly to what she would be legally required to have, and it will probably be much lower than the courts putting in this formula and figuring it out on their own.
See, Judge Faith, you just inspired me. I'm about to apply for law school on tomorrow. I'm talking about when I tell you I love apply for law school.
You can save that money.
I was special case. I can
save that money, bro. Save that money. Save that application fee.
Thank you so much. Judge Faith, don't pay them no attention. Don't laugh at them, Judge Faith. Judge Faith, don't laugh at them. Judge Faith, you got to be professional, Judge Faith. You can't sit here and laugh at them.
I think you make a great lawyer, Rickey, for the record, because you're very passionate.
To get in a school first.
You can go to court and argue a case.
Judge Faith, maintain your credibility here. Please. Don't do that. Don't do that.
We with you, Judge Faith. It's okay.
Anyway, thank you so much this morning. Thank y'all. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Check out season 22 of Divorce Court. Y'all give it up and show your love for the greatest judge on television, Judge Faith Jenkins Lattimore.